Hello, hello, everyone. You listen to another episode of Let's Talk Sports with Tim McCain. I am here with Davion Franklin. He is 2-0 in Bellator. If you see this man, he's got incredible Muay Thai and wrestling skills. He is the real deal. All day, Davion Franklin. How you doing today, sir?
How are you, sir?
Good, man. Good. So, I watched your debut on Bellator.
Mm-hmm.
First thing I noticed, you were facing Jay Kaiser. I just noticed you were very patient. You were looking at him, you were studying him, and you started out with a kick.
Yeah.
And I noticed like for JW Kaiser, he was 5-2. He had
Mm-hmm.
just won 4 fights. I didn't sense any nervousness. You were very, very calm. What was your mindset going into the fight, and how were you so calm in your pro debut?
Yeah, I think for me, I have like an insane amount of self-belief, and I like a challenge, and I also like when I feel that like the odds are stacked against me, because that's when I'm most dangerous. And my mentality was just like to go out there before the fight. I wasn't nervous at all, but my mentality was just to go out there, execute a game plan, and look good doing it. And the game plan was just to be me.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I knew I was a younger guy. I was no disrespect to JW Kaiser, because I really like him. He's a good dude, and I knew I was a younger guy, and I knew I was the superior athlete.
I got you. So where did that self-belief come from? I mean, it had to have been, was it taught? Was it something that you developed at a young age? When did that belief set in for you that you say, you know what, I'm good at this. I can defeat whoever I want to. Where did that self-belief come from?
I feel like I always had this self-belief. It could be from training, but it's also just like knowing, just knowing like what I've been through, and just knowing that knowing like the kind of athlete I am. I feel like I just always had it. Just whatever I did, I've always just believed that I was good, and whatever I ever tried to do.
Yes, sir. So when did your love for the fight game begin? When was the first time you put on those gloves?
My love for the fight game, you say?
Yes. And then when was the first time that you actually put on those gloves and you started training?
Let's see. Before I lived in Albuquerque, I was living in Atlanta, Georgia, and I was watching a lot of UFC and MMA, a lot of Bellator and ONE FC, and I was really inspired by John Jones and his comeback story when he fought DC for the second time. And I kind of just remember, like, I kind of felt like I related to John, kind of. I was just like, oops, hello? Okay.
Oh, yeah, I got you.
Yeah, I feel like I had related to him. Like I felt like he was labeled as a kind of a screw up. I felt like I was a screw up in my life. And and he was just getting himself back on the right track. And I was like, you know what, like I was a really good wrestler. I was a really good athlete. Everyone always told me I should give MMA a shot. And I never gave it a shot. So I went to this gym called X3 Sports in Atlanta, Georgia. And I put on like I trained for literally a week. And then they threw me into sparring with the pros that same week, because I was just a big dude. And I got my ass kicked. And that was the first time I ever put on a pair of gloves.
Wow. I got you. So so your mentality now, because you said that you identify with Jones. So what is it like training with Jones for fights? And also, when it comes to your mentality, when you felt yourself that you were a screw up, like what changed for you that you were like, no, I'm not a screw up. I never was a screw up. That's just how I felt of myself at the time. But now I'm gonna be better.
I was a screw up. I was a person who took everything for granted. I had a lot of opportunities thrown my way, and I was my biggest enemy. I got I always got in the way of my blessings. So, but what changed was I got tired of being that. I got tired of I always felt that there was something there was something greater out there for me. I never knew, and I just avoided MMA for a long time because I was just like, I didn't think it was cool. I didn't think it was cool to get punched in the face, and I was just a little knuckleheaded, but I was just like, I don't want to get punched in the face, and I always kind of thought people kind of looked at MMA as like kind of like a taboo a little bit. So I mean, but now it's more mainstream,
Yeah.
which is cool. Now that I'm in it, it's more mainstream than ever. So definitely, I just avoided it, and like I said, it's been in the back of my mind since I was 18, and it took me until I was 23, turning 24, to actually pull the trigger and actually give it a try. And then I just remember, and before I left Atlanta, Georgia, my life was kind of falling apart, and I just knew I needed to make a change. So I started calling up different gyms like American Top Team, Black Zillions, Jackson Wink, American Kickboxing Academy, and I just knew I was gonna go to some big gym. I didn't want to go to no small gym to where it's just about the money and they can't really help me hone my craft unless I'm putting money in their pockets, because I was broke, I was homeless, and I couldn't really afford to do that. So Jackson Wink was one of the first gyms that got back to me. I sent them all my wrestling videos and my credentials, and literally the rest is history, honestly.
Wow. Okay. So if a kid's looking at your story, just like you looked at John Jones, what are the things that you would want a kid to take away from your experience to build off of his or her own to become better? What are some of the key principles you think that they should take away?
I would tell like a stubborn kid like myself, if they have talent, not even if they have talent, but just anybody, but it's okay to take advice if it's positive and real constructive, and don't take advice if it's negative. I think a lot of times and what I mean by negative, someone who's like outright doubting you. You know what I mean? Like, never take advice if someone tells you that you can't do something. I encourage anybody who see my story, chase your dreams. I've never been afraid to chase my dreams. You know what I mean? I've never, and I think that's where my confidence comes from. You know what I mean? Whatever I've ever done in my life, I always just felt like I was gonna be the best, even if I wasn't the best. The difference is I have true passion for MMA now. I didn't have it in any other sport I played. I didn't have it for football. I didn't have it for wrestling. When I got recruited by the WWE, I didn't have any passion. So whatever you do, have passion for it, and always believe in yourself. And believe in yourself the most when no one else believes in you. And that's what I would tell anybody.
Listening to you, I realize now, and you're right. Like sometimes, when it comes to the fight game, people, that they're like, well, how is he so calm? I believe personally, just from listening to you, what makes you so calm in the ring is because in a lot of ways, the biggest struggle is not what's inside the ring, but what's outside the ring.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And it's like the octagon is like a sanctuary.
Yes, sir.
Where it's like you're safe haven.
It's like you can't, like, once you've taken so many L's in real life, fighting becomes the easy part. You know what I mean? Like, how can I lose? I know what it's like to be at the bottom of the bottom. I know what it's like to be at rock bottom. I know what it's like to not want to live on this earth and to feel pathetic. I know what it's like to feel like I was worthless. How can I really lose? I know what it's like for everybody to never think that you were going to be anything. I can't lose. I can't.
From Davion, the Dawn Franklin, and the prediction comes true for the Dawn. Davion Franklin wins his debut in the first round.
Yes, he did.
Woo!
Kind of looked like Davion Franklin was just biding his time, knowing when I finally take you down, it's gonna hurt. Watch as Franklin comes in, drops levels, gets Kaiser to the ground, and then just starts opening up with big, heavy shots. Kaiser tries to move, a little bit successful at one point, and then that left jackhammer started just touching the spot. He was not able to recover. Mike Bell stops the fight. Congratulations on a pro debut win for Davion Franklin.
Yeah, the Don giving Kaiser an offer he didn't even get a chance to refuse.
So my next question to you is, because I can definitely see that, and this is just beyond athletics, but like, as you as the person, as Davion Franklin the person, what are some of the things that you would want to do to help your community, to inspire the community beyond the fight game?
You know, a wise person once told me never let anyone know your plans until it's done. But one thing that I want to do, once I'm in a position to do so, I want to open up a shelter for young adults. Just not for like, cause just for people who are like, for like some young man or a young woman who was like me, just needed a chance. You know what I mean? Who had stumbled upon hard times and they just needed a chance. But I would like to open a shelter for like young adults, like just anyone under 30.
That's important. That's important, and you're right, man. There's this society. The way society teaches us is you have to have everything figured out in your 20s. You know what I mean? And if you don't, you know what I mean, then you have to have everything ready by 30. So I think that in a sense, having a safe haven for people at that age group is very important. Yeah, so I support you in that goal, man. So you got a fight coming up.
Mm-hmm.
What are your expectations for the fight? And as you as a fighter, how do you? So in my opinion, every fighter or every person, they have like a visual. They have like a movie that they're playing in their head. So how do you visualize beating your opponent 9 days from now?
There's many ways I can beat this man. You know, there's many ways I can beat this man. I don't have any expectations because I want to be like water. I want to be able to adapt. So I don't have any expectations. I think that I made that mistake my last fight. I thought my first fight, I called out. I said, you know, my first fight, JDB Kaiser, I'm going to take this man out in the first round. And I took him out in the first round. So you know what? My second fight when I fought Raz Hilton, I'm going to take him out in the first round. And I tried so hard to take him out in the first round. Now, he had much more fights than JDB Kaiser, and he was 12 years younger than JW Kaiser, taller than him and bigger than him. But I was like, you know what? I have such a tremendous amount of self-belief. I'm going to take this man out in the first round. And as a result, I literally tried to just destroy this man in the first round, and he was just very durable. So my goal now is just to pace myself and adapt to any situation and know that I can beat this man all around. So if it's a first round finish, so be it. Second round finish, so be it. Third round finish, so be it. The bottom line is I will walk through this guy.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I will walk through this guy.
Yes, sir. So my last question to you is, why the nickname All Day?
Because growing up, my nickname was Day Day. You know, okay. My parents called me, my family called me Day Day, and my first name I thought I wanted to be always like the Don, but everybody wants to be the Don. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it didn't really seem. It rolls off the tongue very nicely. The Don Davion. You know what I mean? But it's just like everybody wants to be the Don, and it's just like that's not my personality. You know what I mean? I never I'm not a very boastful dude, and I think the Don is kind of like a name for like somebody who's like a Conor McGregor type person. You know what I mean? Or Floyd Mayweather. That's not who I am. I've always I like to be intense. I like my intensity. So all day it was kind of like I was training. I was training for my first fight that fell through in November of 2019 for Bellator. I was training all day. And the general manager in my gym, he said damn, bro, you train all day. Then I was just literally thinking, man, I'm not really feeling the Don. That's not who I really am. I should just go all day. I train all day. And it reminds me of my name, Day Day, when I was a kid. You know what I mean? So I just think I think there's no one named All Day in MMA. No. So I'm just go ahead and take that and make that mine. You know
There
what I'm
is
saying?
football though, and he's my
Adrian Peterson. Now that was my dude. That was the other thing. Now Adrian Peterson is my guy, but they need the MMA version of him, just
yes,
more
sir.
dominant.
Exactly. I mean, Adrian Peterson, he's somebody who's big, he's strong. You know what I'm saying? He in his prime, he was the best
He's
in
the best.
the league, hands
He's the
down.
best.
No competition.
I love Adrian Peterson, man.
But
I
he was
love him.
quiet. So I get what you're saying. Like in a sense, you're big, like he was big, you're strong, he was strong, and they reserved laid back. They let the work do the talking. So that's all day.
Exactly. But like it's funny. Like when I thought of the name all day, I wasn't even thinking of Adrian Peterson.
Mm,
It had literally dawned on me like, oh shit, I have the same nickname as Adrian Peterson, and I'm actually running with it.
that's amazing.
But Adrian Peterson, he had like two nicknames. He had Diesel and All Day, and he had like another name too. You know what I mean? So
I didn't know that one.
but remember, he did have Diesel. They were calling him Diesel at first.
I did not know that. I did not know Diesel.
Diesel.
That's Shaq then. That's Shaq's. I don't know.
See, I was gonna say I was gonna go by Diesel too, but I was like, nah, I don't want to go by Diesel. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to do that.
No.
So All Day, it fits me. I think everybody like, you know, it fits me. I think like the kids will like it. You know what I mean? So
yes, sir. You're gonna get the all day hats or the all day t-shirts one day.
Yeah, probably. I mean, it's my name. Adrian Peterson is gonna retire. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He's gonna retire. You know what I mean? So
exactly.
I mean, he's probably gonna be out of there in like 2-3 years. My career is gonna just be like really popping off in like another year or two.
He's gonna come to your events and be like, "Oh, this is all day. This is all day." That's what's going on, bro. Where can people find you on social media? Instagram, Facebook. Where can people watch it? You know, streaming online, all that.
Yes, they can watch it on CBS Sports, and they can watch it on YouTube. And they can follow me on Instagram at All Day Davion Franklin.
Got you.
Yes, sir.
Brother, appreciate the interview. Definitely could feel your heart. You know, just listening and talking to you, I definitely think people, they need encouragement. I think a lot of people, a lot of ways they fake the funk. You know what I mean? Or like some of the stuff they go through. And so for people who are honest in their stories and their struggles, you know, and they overcome those things, or they, you know, continually overcome those things, I think that's needed, bro. So I applaud you and I appreciate you for telling your story because people need it.
Thank you. I really appreciate that, bro. I do.
Have a blessed
bro. Yeah, you too, bro. You too.